Welcome to Open Studio Podcast, space for lettering artists, illustrators, and creatives who are determined to thrive in their passion. I'm Martina Flor, and I've been through the ups and downs of building a successful creative business. From struggling to make ends meet to achieving my dream of becoming an award-winning lettering designer, I've learned valuable lessons along the way. Now, I'm here to share those lessons, strategies, and tips so that your journey can be smoother. Whether you're looking to turn your passion into a career or want insights to boost your creative business, this podcast is your guide. Join me on the Open Studio Podcast and let's make your creative dreams a reality. Hello and welcome back to Open Studio. I'm your host, Martina Flor, and today we are diving into something that's often overlooked but absolutely important for any creative professional, which is your mindset. Now, full disclosure, I used to think that mindset was a little bit woo-woo, something that didn't really apply to me as a creative, as a lettering artist. But over time, I realized that the story we tell ourselves directly influence our results. And this is why nowadays I consider that so important. And I work on building my mindset often and almost every day because I know how much that can have an impact in my results. And before we dive into today's episode, I want to share with you a simple resource that I have put together, which is called Mindset Mastery for Graphic Artists. It's a simple resource, a simple PDF that shares essential mindsets that I believe are very important to build your career as a graphic artist. And it also includes other resources that you can dive into if you want to dive deeper into mindset and you're like me that want to really work. You do believe that everything starts in your mind, in what you believe you can achieve. So you can go and download it on martinaflor.com/mindset. It's a simple resource, and I think it's very powerful, and I hope it will help you build that mindset of a winning artist, of a thriving artist. So if you believe that you can make a living as a lettering artist, a graphic artist, a creative, you won't even try. I do truly believe this. If you think you're not good enough, you will hold yourself back from opportunities. And the truth is that your mindset shapes your success as much as your skills do. So again, if you are telling yourself that you cannot do this, you won't even give it a shot. And oftentimes, whatever you want to achieve starts by believing that you can achieve it. And I've seen this firsthand, not just in my career, but also in the journeys of the graphic artists that I've mentored. So today I want to share 5 powerful mindset shifts that transform my creative journey and can do the same for you. And I want you to listen to this episode with an open mind and try some of these shifts in your mindset and see how that impact your results and the things that you get to achieve in your creative career. So mindset number 1 is growth over perfection. One of the biggest shifts for me was embracing the idea that any craft can be learned if you stay consistent. I really used to believe that I wasn't naturally talented at something and that lettering wasn't for me. I don't come from a family of artists or designers, and I felt like I was born in the wrong family, and therefore I don't have that naturally born talent that is required to excel at something. But that's just not true. Your skills grow when you show up consistently, and every skill can be learned. Every challenge is an opportunity to improve, and every setback is a stepping stone. And if you approach your craft with that mindset, then no mistake will hold you back. Rather the opposite. It will be the stepping stone for doing it better next time. It's really not about being perfect. It's about making progress. And this is a mindset that I want to infuse in all of the creatives that I work with, and I want you to acquire it as well. It's not about making it perfect because there's always space to make it more perfect. It's about noticing your progress through each project that you bring to life. Mindset number 2, seek guidance. So when I started my career, I thought I had to figure everything out on my own, or at least I set myself the goal of setting everything up on my own. And I was stubborn, and honestly, I wasted a lot of time trying to reinvent the wheel to figure it out on my own. But things changed when I began seeking mentorship and people who helped me breach what I call the knowledge gap. And so I personally enrolled in a lettering design course. I actually took a big step. I moved overseas and I enrolled on a 1-year letter design course. And in this course, not only I learned the foundations of letter design, but I also had access to a group of peers that I could ask for critique and feedback. And of course, I had a group of instructors that I could ask guidance from. And this completely accelerated my growth in ways I could have not achieved alone. In fact, after that experience, I had built so much knowledge and confidence in my own skills that I decided to go ahead and move to Berlin and launch my career as a lettering artist. So don't be afraid to look for help, look for feedback, look for guidance. It's really the fastest route to improvement, and don't try to figure it out all on your own. Find someone that can help you bridge the knowledge gap. Mindset number 3, and this is something I speak about often here, which is create. Don't just practice. So shift from practicing to creating. For a long time, I thought I was practicing by sketching random letters and doodling ideas. But the truth is that I wasn't making real progress because I wasn't finishing anything. So I didn't have these small milestones that I could compare with. I couldn't see progress because everything wasn't finished. Everything was like a work in progress. And the shift happened when I started treating every piece as a real project. So I gave myself deadlines, I set myself goals, and really completed each work like if it was for a client. The difference is that there was no client. I was the client. I was setting up my own briefing. And that's when I truly started growing. Because I was comparing finished pieces, I truly started seeing that I was making progress, that this piece that I had created today was a lot better in quality than one that I had created 4 months ago. So if you want to turn pro, if you want to turn into a professional, you have to act like a pro even before anyone else recognizes you as one. You have to start behaving like a professional even before being a professional. Mindset number 4, you can be paid for your work. You can be paid for your creative work. And this is a huge one. Just because you love what you do doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid for it. So early in my career, I felt guilty. And it's funny because early in my career, and I think this happens to a lot of creatives out there, to a lot of graphic artists, lettering artists, that you feel guilty charging for your artwork because it's something that you enjoy doing. It's something that you would be doing anyways. But that mindset is what keeps many creatives and artists undervaluing themselves. And the truth is that your skills solve real problems for your clients. And that has tremendous value. Imagine you create a logotype for a brand. And that logotype that you created helps that brand connect with their audience and attract more customers. Or imagine you create a lettering piece for an advertising campaign that helps that company sell millions of products. So your creativity, your creative skill, your artwork really has a value for your clients. And therefore, you should be paid accordingly for the work that you create. And if you're struggling with pricing, I speak about this and a mistake that I did early in my career in terms of pricing my work in episode 169. And if you're struggling with pricing, I would recommend you to go ahead and listen to it because I don't want you to make that mistake. And this episode also will give you a little bit of an idea of how you can start thinking about pricing your work. So remember, the fact that you enjoy the work you do has no role whatsoever in how much you can get paid for it. Mindset number 5, choose community over isolation. So for a long time, I thought progress was something you achieve by working hard and working alone and really grinding in silence. But I quickly learned that growth doesn't happen in isolation. And when I first moved to Germany, I really realized how powerful community is. So when I moved to Germany, as you know, I am originally from Argentina. I moved to Germany, to Berlin more specifically, where I live now, to launch my career as a lettering artist. And I didn't know anybody. I had no network. I had no creative community whatsoever. That was 14 years ago. So the online communities were not a big thing at that time. And I made a smart decision at that time, which was attending monthly meetups with other typography enthusiasts. And this meetup was called Tipo Stammtisch Berlin. And being with other people that were doing exactly what I wanted to do. There were type designers and some calligraphers. At the time, no one was a lettering artist, but they were working in the letter design world. And I started realizing, hey, wait, they are doing what I want to do. And if they can do it, I can do it too. So surrounding myself with like-minded people not only inspired me, but also kept me accountable because I saw a future where I could actually do that. So I kept on working for that future. And your network is really your lifeline. So through that community, I met a collaborator with whom I started a very well-known side project at that time, an online battle that was called Lettering versus Calligraphy. And that gave me a lot of visibility. Then I got invited to conferences because some of the conference organizers of a conference in Berlin were attending this meeting. So by connecting with other people is how you start to grow and start to create those opportunities for yourself. So there you have it, 5 powerful mindset shifts that helped me grow from a frustrated designer into a successful lettering artist. So let's recap on all of them. Number 1, embrace growth over perfection. Number 2, seek guidance and feedback. Number 3, create, don't just practice. Behave like a pro even before being a pro. Number 4, you can get paid for doing work you enjoy. And number 5, find a community of peers that are on the same journey. And remember, if you want to dive deeper into mindset, I have this resource that you can download for free. It's called Mindset Mastery for Graphic Artists, and you can go ahead and download it on martinaflor.com/mindset. So thank you so much for tuning in to Open Studio. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone else who might need that mindset shift to take their artwork to the next level or to build their creative career. And I will see you on the next episode of Open Studio. Bye-bye. So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening, and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye.